Mba, 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 mba. Give me some. Everybody, this is a mic check. You know what? This is looking good. The volumes are looking good. I'm a little loud on this, so I'm going to chill my voice out a little. But I think we're good, and I think that's how I'm going to start the episode. Because nothing is more millennial than starting with the Hanson brothers. Now, they are typically what you think about when you think of 90s bands, little boy band things. I know people are going to go with NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, but I'm going to say Hanson, because those three very, very beautiful, beautiful blonde boys that were brothers, and they were like three completely different ages. I don't know if you could hear this in the background, but there's a lot of Hispanic men doing construction back there. So if you hear that, I apologize. This episode's going out. However the audio is, I love you. We're all in it together. So welcome to my world. There's just a constant noise of Hispanic men shooting nails at, I hope, building a house or doing some kind of construction. If not, the nails and all that noise going on behind me, I should call the cops. But I digress. I know it's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks? Yo, honestly, time is so strange to me. Let me see if I can close. You know what? I'm going to close the window, see if that does anything. And I'm not going to know until the episode's over. So hold on, guys. Wait 1 second for me. All right? Hold on. The window's closed. I think maybe we have a little bit of a better system of our, yeah. It seems like it closed the window and they stop. Oh no, there they go again. All right, hopefully you don't hear that. Either way. So how are you guys doing? It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, right? 2 weeks. Time, like I was saying, time is so weird. I don't know. I felt like I just recorded an episode last week, but it has to have been 2 weeks ago. And it also, I don't know if you get this ever, but it simultaneously feels like I just did it, and it feels like I haven't done it in 4 years. I don't know if that makes sense, but time is weird that way, where you could feel like something, like I haven't done something in a while, and also I just did it the other day. So I don't know, that's just weird. I find that interesting. I guess I'll segue into the episode today. So I had a couple, as you guys know, I don't really I don't really have a stringent routine structure for the pod. So I just kind of have ideas, and I just kind of free talk, especially when I'm doing a solo episode, and I kind of just have like a blueprint in my head. Sometimes I write it out and I just start talking about topics, right? But I was thinking, give me feedback on this, guys, if you don't mind. I was thinking about different categories and stuff. So you know what? I think I'm going to try it out today, guys. I was debating on it. I had another thing I wanted to talk about, but I could even talk about that later. We'll see what happens. So I wanted to do some categories. So this is what I think I'm going to do. I thought I thought this would be cool too. You know, I had a couple guests on the show, you know, which I hope remain constant featured guests. We're definitely going to do a bunch more episodes, but you know, my cousin Vin, Raul, Mary Lady, I would like them to go over this too, like do these categories, have different categories, different conversations, topics of conversation. So the things that I thought about, I don't know, it kind of naturally was a progression, especially after the last episode with Raul, was we were talking, and it's funny because everybody who's listened to the episode, and even with Vin's episodes, people love those episodes, and what they love is the conspiracy talk of stuff. And obviously, I think just as a culture, we're moving more into the conspiracy, being more fascinated with conspiracies, only because in my opinion, we've just been lied to for so long about so many things that now we are starting to question everything. So when we question everything, that leads to quote unquote conspiracies, which once again, I'm not a big fan of that terminology, but you know, for lack of a better word, we all know what that means. And a lot of people will say conspiracy theories, but then they'll say like conspiracy facts, because typically the conspiracy turns out to be real. So, and the reason why I think we're so interested, but there's also so much of a stigma, is because there's so many weird things out there that are true, that are verifiedly true. So I noticed like those are what people respond the most to of the episodes is the conspiracy talk. So we're always talking. He was like, yeah, everybody that told me that they listened to the episode really enjoyed like the end of our conversation when we started talking about conspiracies. And I was like, that's so funny. And then with Vin's episodes, people just love the conversation. Or I'll tell people like, oh, the episode was about this. They're like, oh, that's really cool. That's so cool. And then I'll start talking to people in real life about the conspiracies. So we're very into that as a culture, as a nation, as people, I think now, because we know there's something going on that's not all there. So that's definitely one part of the category. So I think this is what the categories are going to be. So conspiracies, and that's also like a part of my daily conversations. I could get into conspiracies all day, especially if you know me, if we talk. So conspiracies is going to be one thing. So I'm going to bring up a conspiracy, right? That's going to be one category. So I digress again. So the categories are going to be movies. So I'm going to talk about a movie. We're going to talk about movies. So whenever the guests are going to come on, we're also going to do this. They're going to talk about a movie, whatever you want to do. If it's a movie, however you feel about it, just whatever you want to talk about. It could be a random movie that you picked and we watch and we talk about. I'll get into each topic as we do it. A movie, music, a musician. I like albums. I would like to talk about albums. But a musician and their songs, or songs that you like, or a musician that you like. Books that you're reading or have read, or what you're reading now, because everybody's reading something. So what are you reading now? What did you read? What was the last thing you read? Like, was it an article? Was it a book? Was it an essay? Was it, I guess now with social media and everything, like, was it like a post? What would you read? What are you reading now? But I would like to try to stick with more books and either short stories, essays, poems, anything, whatever you're reading now. And conspiracies. Conspiracies is another topic. The what does it be, like the third topic, right? No, the fourth topic, sorry. So that's going to be conspiracies. Then the fifth topic, we're going to say something that you're looking forward to, because I want to end on a high note. I want to end on a good note. So let's do conspiracies. Maybe that will get a little dark. It doesn't have to get dark, but typically conspiracies get a little zany. And then we're gonna do something that we're looking forward to, and then end it on that. So what is that altogether? 7 topics. 7 topics, right? We got movies, music, books, conspiracies. Oh no, that's 5 topics. All right. Did I miss one, guys? You'll tell me. And something you're looking forward to. So we're gonna start with movies, guys. All right, I'm gonna start with the movies, and this is a solo episode, so it's just gonna be me doing this. But when the guests come on, we're gonna have different. They're gonna have their own things that they're gonna bring up. But also, guys, listen, reach out to me, Millennial Rolodex at Millennial Rolodex 1990 at gmail.com. Email me. Any one of those topics, anything you want to talk about, anything that sounds interesting to you, or message me if you have my message. If you're my friend, message me directly and say what you want to talk about, and maybe we could get you could be on the episode. You'll be a guest as well. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the movies, guys. I don't know if I said on the podcast, but I love going thrifting. So maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago, I went to a thrift store. I've always wanted to I had one when I was younger, millennial. We all had one, a VHS player. So I got a VHS player, and I got a TV that like an old school kind of TV that hooks up to the VHS player. So I've been buying VHSs and nonstop watching VHSs, guys. That's like I haven't even touched a DVD in a while. I bought a couple, full transparency, but I haven't watched a DVD in a while. I've just been watching the VHSs that I get. And I love the quality of VHSs. And it's so funny because people ask me, I say, oh, I've been watching VHSs. And, you know, they say like, oh, how's the quality? And the quality is good. It's really good, but it's definitely not like DVD quality or Blu-ray or your TV quality. It's definitely a lesser kind of quality in terms of when you look at it that way. It's a less clear quality. But I love that aesthetic. I love that look of it because it feels like I'm watching like an old school TV. Like this is on a channel and I'm watching an old school TV. And I'm wondering why I like this so much. I mean, the pictures are good, especially if the tapes, the VHS tapes are restored really well or have really good I forgot what it's called, but when the pictures when the film is put on the tape, like how they remaster all these too, but how they put them on the tapes, if it's a really good, say just stick with restoration. If it's a really good restoration, guys, can you tell I haven't done this in a few weeks? If it's a really good restoration, the picture looks really good, but it is it's an older TV and it's a tape. So it's different. It's not a DVD. It's not digital. So you have that little bit of a fuzzy look to it, maybe a little bit more pixelated, which is how the picture is shown on these TVs. But I was thinking, why do I like this aesthetic so much? Why is it so beautiful to me? Because the image is still beautiful, but it is definitely not up to the quality of digital or your TV, right? 4K, Blu-ray, all that stuff. And I realized it's so funny. I was looking up VHS videos on YouTube, and Quentin Tarantino, the director, he is a really big VHS watcher, and he loves them more than DVDs, he said. And he's like, why do I love them? And somebody asked him, why do you like them more? And he said this, and this is the perfect explanation for why VHSs are so amazing and beautiful. He says, I love VHS more than DVD. They say, why? It's the pictures like worse. He goes, they're more charming. They're more charming. VHSs are more charming. And that is completely, he nailed it. He got it right on the head. That's why he's one of the best filmmakers, because it is really more charming. You're watching it, it's a little bit more grainy, a little bit more fuzzy, and it's not, maybe not as clear. The sound is a little different, and it's not what you're used to watching now, but there's something so lovely and charming about the picture and about putting the tape in and hearing the kind of the VCR going and the VHS in there, like rolling and hearing and watching the video that's clear, but it still has a little bit of fuzz to it. Like it is really charming, and it's a vibe. So that's going to bring me to the movie today, which is probably the most vibiest. I'm going to say, if you're watching it with a significant other on a date or something, Netflix and chill. We'll say VCR and chill. VCR and chill, guys. It's definitely a vibe. Me and Mary Lady watched this one night together. She fell asleep because it was a very cozy vibe. I stayed up watching the whole thing. It's called, I don't know if you heard of this movie, the original Star Wars A New Hope. Now, this is the first watch that I've had of this movie, and I got to tell you something. I grew up with the prequels. And the prequels, I was young. I was like 10 when the Star Wars prequels came out. I didn't hate them. I liked them. I was a kid. I still think they hold up pretty decent, but they're definitely not, I didn't grow up with these. I'm not old enough to grow up with the originals, like in the movie theater, that craze. So I definitely missed that whole bandwagon. And then I wasn't really a Star Wars fan of like the originals. Like I didn't see the originals really unless they were like playing on TV, and I wasn't really into it that much. So I'm at the thrift shop and I see all the Star Wars, all the old ones. The lady that was stocking out the thrift store movies puts out all the Star Wars, all like the old Star Wars on VHS, as I'm like watching, like looking at what VHSs to get. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to buy all of them, but let me buy at least A New Hope, the first one, because this is the only way I'm going to watch this nerdy ass movie from the 70s, which I'm a 70s fan, a movie fan, but there's no, like, I haven't watched Star Wars. I haven't been wanting to watch Star Wars, the originals. So I was like, you know, the only way I'm going to watch it is if I get it on VHS and put it in the VHS player. VCR, I'm sorry. VHS player is fine, but VCR is what they're called, guys. What does it stand for? I don't know. That's for another episode. So I get it. We watch it. And if you don't know what Star Wars is, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to give you a little synopsis. So this is how we're going to do the movie thing, the movie topic. I'm going to read the back of this VHS that I'm holding in my hand. That's what a VHS sounds like. It's also really beautiful. VHSs are really beautiful, like to look at. They're just like box. They look like books, kind of. And then it's the art on VHSs and what they put into things are amazing, man. Like how they used to do things is just truly amazing. So I'm gonna read the back. Obviously, everybody knows this. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. ... And then just this is the little synopsis. Star Wars is the ultimate in cinematic entertainment. Writer-director George Lucas unraveled passion for space, fantasy, adventure, and romance is captured. I said unraveled. It's unrivaled, guys. Sorry, can't read. Side note, I used to hate reading in public. And like, so when my teacher used to call on me to read, I hated it so much because I used to like think too much. I don't know if you guys had this. And I used to like stutter words and like just not be able to focus on the words. So it seems like I can't read when I read out loud. So hopefully I got a little bit better. Clearly I didn't. Star Wars is the ultimate in cinematic entertainment. Writer-director George Lucas' unrivaled passion for space, fantasy, adventure, and romance is captured on screen with groundbreaking special effects and extraordinary space creatures. Princess Leia, actress Carrie Fisher, is held hostage by an evil imperial force in their effort to quell the rebellion against the galactic empire. Luke Skywalker, actor Mark Hamill, the Captain Han Solo, actor Harrison Ford, team together with the lovely droid duo R2-D2 and C-3PO to rescue the beautiful princess and restore justice in the galaxy. Now, that's a good synopsis, guys. Because now let me start this out. The movie, I put the movie on, and now VHS's tapes, you could only fast forward and rewind manually. And so the movie just starts playing, right? Typically, the whole thing just starts playing unless you fast forward it on the VHS player or the VCR, or you just watch the whole thing until the film starts. So with this is cool because with the bonus features of movies back in the day, VHSs, if there's an interview before the movie or like a special feature, it plays before the movie. So this typical one had one of my favorite film critics ever, still alive, great, love him. He's an OG from the Siskel and Ebert era. This is Leonard Maltin, and Leonard Maltin did a interview with George Lucas for the tape, for the VHS, and interviews him before the movie. So it's like a maybe 10-20 minute interview with George Lucas and Leonard Maltin before the movie starts. And you just, once you put it in, it just starts rolling. Like there's no press play to play the movie. We go to special features. It's just the whole reel plays. So that's really awesome. That was really awesome. I really enjoy that. I love Leonard Maltin. I used to listen to his podcast, his movie podcast a lot. And it was just a nice little treat before the movie starts. So then the movie starts, guys. And the movie is literally what I just said. And it's just so interesting to me. It came out in 1977. Obviously, it's one of the most influential movies ever. And it like spawned a whole, like Star Wars is its own entity. Is its literal own entity. I liked it. I'll put it to you like this, guys. I'm going to do the categories of the movie. Like what it is. So the categories that I say with movies typically are: they're not for me. I liked it. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. Those are the 4 categories. I'm going to say that I liked it. I genuinely liked it. I didn't love it, which I could see a time of me loving this movie, and I didn't think it was one of the best movies I've ever seen, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. And obviously it's when there's a movie with such crazy hype as Star Wars, like you're like, oh, you got Princess Leia, you got Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker trying to get her, trying to save her from the evil forces and all that stuff. I just put myself back in the time of like watching like the first scene, the scroll of the text scroll of like in a galaxy far, far away, and then the starship, the ships fighting each other, shooting lasers at each other. Then you have Darth Vader coming out, like the first time anybody's ever seen Darth Vader breathing heavy with his black on, with a lightsaber, and with choking people by the Force, like special powers. The film I could understand is so influential and so such a people must have loved it, and people that grew up with it, similar to us as millennials who love our millennial stuff, people who grew up with Star Wars and going to see it multiple times in the movie theater. I completely get it, and I think it is still a good movie. Like I like it still. I think it has a good story. You know, you have Luke, you have the quintessential bad guy, which is Darth Vader. You have the quintessential hero's journey with Luke finding his mentor, Obi-Wan, old Ben Kenobi over here, as they called him. And it's so funny to see like all these original things that you hear about from other pop culture things, like really what is in the movie. And it's actually completely different. Like I think if most people watch the movie, they would be very underwhelmed by it, because the idea of Star Wars is just more grandiose than the actual movie. And now that being said, I haven't seen the Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, the next two in the original trilogy. Yeah, I think people would be definitely overwhelmed by the technology, and they hold up. It holds up. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of the stuff which I love was practical effects with the spaceships and the sets and stuff. But I think that like they built like little miniatures and stuff too, which is pretty cool. I think that what people are used to seeing now would be underwhelming, but I do think it holds up better than those movies would hold up because of, like I said, the practical effects and how beautiful the sets are and stuff. The story's good. Obviously, like the story, they go to save her. Han Solo's there. He's like the original bad boy, space bad boy. People loved him. I would say definitely it was like, I liked it. It was good. It was. Once again, I'm not even a big Star Wars fan in general. Even the new ones, the prequels, I'm not like a huge fan of them. But I did like the movie, so I liked it. It's rated 8.6 on IMDb, so that's typically what I do. I go on IMDb and I look at like what the rating is. So I said 8.6. Now, for anybody who's listening, for me, a 6.0 and up on IMDb is amazing. That means the movie's either going to be great or good, at least. It's worth watching, the 6.0 and up. But anything in like 7s is amazing, and 8s is like one of the best. I understand. Listen, people love Star Wars, the original especially, and listen, I can't hate on it. I'm not going to hate on it. I did like it. It was a good movie, but it has a nostalgia factor. The experience alone is a vibe. Definitely get a VHS player, a VCR, and play it on VHS, because it's definitely a vibe at night. Shut the lights off, just play it, and it's probably one of the best like movies to watch on tape, honestly. So I loved it. Was a great, one of my favorite watching experiences. But I liked the movie. The movie was good, guys. But I understand the love for it, because it's when people were kids. There was nothing like it. The characters were so charismatic and so individualized, and it's actually cool because you could see like it actually, I guess now that I'm like really dissecting it, because I didn't really have much to say about it. It's obviously Star Wars. I did like it. But I guess I understand, like, everybody could identify with somebody in the movie. So all the women are like, I'm Princess Leia. Or the guys are like, or some guys would be like, I'm like Luke, man. I'm like a kid just trying to figure it out. Or like older people would be like, I'm like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old master. Or, yeah, I'm just a bad boy. Space cowboy, Han Solo. So like everybody had their own, or I'm literally the bad guy, Darth Vader. Everybody had their specific people that they could look at and be like, that's me, and that's replicated in me. Or I feel like I'm akin to them. And that's like a genius. That's genius storytelling right there, honestly, that everybody could relate to somebody in the movie. So that's probably one of the ways that they hit the nail on the head with the culture and the zeitgeist at that moment was, oh, like, let's give kids and people somebody that they could look up to or look at and be like, that's me, or that's cool. I resonate with that character. So that was the movie, guys. All right. Oh, like I said, it was 8.6. I think that's a fair rating for the movie. For me, I would give it, like I said, I think 6 if I had to rate it like on IMDb, six is good. I'll do 6.5, right? Because 6 I say is like, oh, that movie's good, but 6.5 is like, all right, it's good and it has potential to keep on growing. It's a grower, not a shower for me. So 6.5. That's my IMDb rating, guys. And I liked it. I liked the movie. Thought it was good. So the music I'm gonna do, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this guy's album, because the last album that we listened to, I watch VHSs and I listen to vinyls, guys. So on the vinyl player that we own, we have a vinyl of Bob Dylan and his album. It's called the Freewheelin Bob Dylan, and that's his 1963 album. And you probably seen the album cover with him and his girl at the time, because that man was slinging it. His girl at the time, I don't know her name, but him and his significant other, and they're walking down in the middle of the street in New York, and it's like an iconic, beautiful picture. I truly, that time period, and especially folk music, I love folk music of the 60s and you know, late 60s, early 60s. I love that time period in music anyway, but Bob Dylan, definitely, I understand. See, now I'm like talking about classic Star Wars, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, definitely, there's something in music that, like, you hit, especially in that time period, folk music hit the zeitgeist, hit like the soul of people and mankind. Like, there's a vagabond feeling to the music and the time period. Like, you felt like New York was just this time. It was kind of like during the Beat generation, maybe a little bit after that generation of like artists and people and writers and musicians, every person in every art, and just big ideas, like going to coffee shops, going to parks, and just talking about philosophy and God and life and love, and just like going out in the world and doing things. And that's honestly probably a lot of the nostalgia that we have for like the 90s. But then like the 70s and 60s was people going out and doing stuff and experiencing each other's souls like face to face, and like with love and compassion, and just exchanging ideas and going and doing things in general. They were going and doing things. Like, something I always say here is just go out and do something, guys. Like, go out and go get a cup of coffee go stop at a friend's house, get a cup of coffee, go like stop by. Hey, you want to hang out for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Oh, I'm passing by. Hey, yeah, let me pop in and say hi. Or like, yo, let's go on a walk real quick. Whatever, just go, like meetups, like little meetups. That's how we used to entertain each other. We didn't have social media or like just like YouTube or anything, man. We had to go and live in the real world, not this fictitious world. So yeah, I think that he really resonates. He has that culture of like, what are we doing here, man? Like, we're just all like traveling through the world, like loving and being here in the time. And that's where like the song "The Times Are Changing" are on, and what else songs are on there? I should have done "Blowing in the Wind." Amazing. "Down the Highway." I mean, like, look, yeah, like all these songs are iconic. Like, when you hear them, you think like, wow, there's like a big revolution, there's a big change coming, there's like this world is transitioning, it's exhaling this beauty and this poetry. And yeah, it was a beautiful time, and especially in music and folk. And I do think music, films, art, everything, whatever's happening at the time, truly great art, like zaps into whatever art that they're doing. Artists and art zap into whatever they're doing and preserve that in time, so we could listen to it now and be transported back to that feeling, that vibe, that frequency, that energy. So definitely give a listen to the Freewheelin Bob Dylan. Anywhere you could listen to it. I prefer vinyl, the vinyl that we have, because once again, vinyl is so charming. You know, you hear the turn of the vinyl, the licorice pizza, if you will. How like you hear the little like static from it. It's a beautiful thing. But listen to it on Spotify or wherever, if you're not fortunate enough to have a vinyl player. It's like, side note, I think I'm gonna live in the middle of the woods. All I'm gonna have is a little electricity, a VCR, and a vinyl player, and I think that's it. I think that's all I'm gonna do. And then I'll record the podcast, and I'll go to like the one. It's gonna be back in the day, coffee bar internet bar and record it and upload it to hang out with you guys a little bit, at least once a week. So yeah, so the Freewheelin Bob Dylan, that's the album. Bob Dylan in general you can listen to, but the Freewheelin Bob Dylan, I really recommend that album. It's really beautiful. And he sounded like he was like searching for something, especially like that's like the beginning of his career. It really feels like he's searching for something and finding it while still searching for it, which is I don't know. That's how you can't use logic to explain music or art, in my opinion. So that's how I explain that. And listen to it. Tell me what you think, guys. So the books. So I've been reading a bunch of books actually at the same time. I used to be somebody. I don't know if you guys do this or don't do this. I used to be somebody who could only read one book at a time. But then I realized I don't do that. I can't do that. I read a little bit of each book and then I go back to the book. So the books that I'm reading right now, Rick Rubin's The Creative Act. I told you, like I talk about this book sometimes. I've read 50 pages of it. I still had my my book holder, my bookmark in there, and I haven't picked it up in like years. And Rick Rubin actually in interviews, he says to like pick that book up and just like go to a random page and just look at what it says, because it's a book about how to create and how to create as a person, not just an artist, yes, but in the sense that we're all artists and our life is an art, and how to create. Like, where do we come from to create? And that, like, it's just a beautiful book. And so I was on page 50 and I said, I haven't read this in a while. So I just like reverted back to the first page and just started it over. And it's a very easy book to read through, straight through, because it's like it's dense in knowledge, but not dense in vocabulary. And it's not hard to understand. It's just dense in what it's saying. That's how I would describe it. And you can just turn to any page and just read any page, but if you want to just read it straight through, it's not a hard book to read straight through. Like I said, like I was on page 50, I started over, and then in that same sitting, I got to page 70. So it's not a hard book to read straight through. And then once again, it's beautiful because it's not just talking about like, oh, you're artists, like painters, rock stars, actors, writers. It's talking about your art as a person, whether that is you finding a different route home from work as your art, or you making a cup of coffee as your art. Everything is an art form, and your life is an art form, and just to follow your life with that thought process. And if you know me, you know, like I feel that way typically about life and art and love and everything. That's just like kind of my general outlook. So the book really resonates with me. And I love it. And I think everybody could get something from it, because it's not really telling you what to do. It's saying there's some options. And he actually says in the beginning of the book, look, these are some things that I find true. Whatever resonates with you, take it. Whatever doesn't, throw it out. This is not the answer. And that's something I actually really respect about the book, but him in general, is that he doesn't have answers, and he doesn't proclaim to have answers in a world where everybody has an answer for everything, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool. I guess that's the only book that I'll talk about right now. I have a couple other ones. I'll bring maybe some up next week. So we did the movies, we did the music, we did the books. I guess we're going to go to the conspiracies. So I'll just, you know what conspiracy can I talk about now? Or do I want it? I said, what can I talk about? Oh, they got to me. I'm psyoped, bro. Never will I ever be psyoped, guys. I'm just going to say that out there right now. Something about me, I don't know about you, but I cannot do or say anything that I don't truly believe. So there goes that idea. You know, you know what? It's funny. I'll just do a basic one. So the pyramids, how were the pyramids made? I'm going to say this. I think the pyramids, this is a controversial opinion. This is just a conspiracy, guys, right? Not controversial, but this is just an idea, because I don't believe they were made by, everybody always talks about this. I don't believe they were made by sand and pulleys and rope and things. The blocks would break. They're too heavy, guys. And for anybody to say that that's how they did it and with slaves and manpower, that there's not enough room in the areas where the blocks are, guys, especially in the chambers. And there's not enough strength with ropes and wood planks and stuff. The technology at the time, I'm going to say the pyramids were made with a couple ways, but the two ways that I'll say are levitation, and possibly the levitation was due to sound. Now, I think that think Graham Hancock talks about this. For you Graham Hancock haters, I would suggest guys look some of his stuff up. He's just like kind of an archaeologist, like a amateur archaeologist, but he's a journalist, and he writes books and looks at all kind of like alternative histories for how ancient society could have been. And that's like the thing that kind of interests me, I would say the most, at least now, is like what was going on in the ancient world. The pyramids, I believe he also says something along these lines, is that mystics and sages and people back in the day used chance to levitate objects, even themselves, and move them. So I think that has something to do with it. I'm going to say, spoiler alert, I think we have untapped physical attributes that we could do, that we've long forgotten that we could do. And some people, through their consciousness and through their relationship with God, have these abilities. I think still, this is getting into the conspiracy world a little bit, but if you look at like Hindi gurus and Tibetan monks and stuff, the feats that they could do now with their consciousness is insane. Like Tibetan monks I think I've said this before, this is an example that I give. They could be on top of like snow mountains without a shirt, and they're generating so much heat and sweat from meditating that they take wet rags and they dry them on their bodies. Like, you could see videos of them doing this. This is the level of consciousness that they're going through. And then, like, you know, you have like yogis, the monks, the yogis, the Hindu yogis. They levitate, you know, there's stories of them levitating and stuff. And then even saints, there's saints that have like, if you listen to Diane Pasulka, she's a doctor in religious studies, and there's so many documentation of people witnessing saints flying and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of things that we could do. I think that if we like holistically tapped into our consciousness and our relationship with God, like I said, we would be able to do. But I think we've long, especially in modern times, suppressed these powers. So I think that's one of the ways that they had it at the time of the pyramids, and then that's how one of the ways that they made the pyramids is through levitation, and it could be frequency like chanting, mantras, prayer, but I would definitely say levitation. So that's my conspiracy, guys. Tell me what you think about that, and tell me what you think about the pyramids and how you think they were made. If slaves made them, which there's no evidence, for a tomb for a pharaoh, which there's also no evidence, or some other weird, crazy idea. And what were they for, guys? What were the pyramids for, too? Please let me know that, because that's a whole nother can of worms. And the last but not least, I've been talking for quite some time, is what am I looking forward to, guys? Well, this week, this is just something, it doesn't have to make sense or whatever, guys. This is just something you're looking forward to. Because, guys, guess what? We have to look forward to things in life, right? Like, we have to have this optimistic view, sort of like, we can't just go to work and go home and go to work and go home and this and this. So what am I looking forward to? It could be anything. Something that, an idea that I'm looking forward to, a specific thing I'm looking forward to, or you're looking forward to. But this is what I'm looking forward to. Honestly, I'm looking forward to hitting up the beach this summer, guys. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what's in my mind right now. That's what I'm going to say. I'm very much looking forward to it. I love the beach. I love the water. I love the sand. I love the heat. I love the feeling when you're at the beach. I believe there's like scientific proof. There was a study of something of like when people go to the beach, it actually is releasing a chemical that's actually calming them down. So that's something. So if you're ever at the beach, you're actually getting healed by the chemicals in the air and calming you down, and you're getting healed. Also, when your stress levels down, your body stress levels down, and you're able to repair and re-heal yourself, guys. So I'm very much looking forward to, I love the beach. I could spend my life at the beach. I could live on the beach, but I'm very much looking forward to the beach in the summer. So that's the end of the show, guys. Tell me what you're looking forward to. Give me any one of these topics. This is gonna be called topics. This style of pod, and anything you're looking forward to. Any conspiracy you have, any books that you're reading, any movies that you're watching, or music that you're listening to, let me know. I love you guys. Have a great day.